So I spent a year with a Honda E, covered 16,000 miles. Let's go and take a little look around. Okay, so this is my first taste of owning an electric car and living with it, and complete change to what we've been used to. I wasn't too sure once we placed the order with Honda how this is going to come out. This was Honda's first full electric car coming to market, so it was all open to interpretation what we were going to experience. We knew a couple of things off the book, was that it was going to be rear-wheel drive. It had around 100 to 150-ish horsepower, but we didn't know too much more than that. Obviously, living with it now for a year, I've got a real nice understanding of how it works, how we could potentially improve it, and how to live with it daily. One of the questions I get asked when people see us driving around in this is, what sort of range am I getting from the car? I typically get anywhere between 100 and 120 miles, depending on temperature and the charge gone into it. It falls into routine, just like plugging your phone in on charge every night. You do that as you go to bed, you plug your phone in, it's ready for the morning. Very similar with the car, it just slips into your daily routine, and you wouldn't really notice that you're charging an electric car daily. In the 16,000 miles that we've covered in the car so far, we can see that we're averaging around 4.1 to 4.2 miles per kilowatt, which is equating to around 120 miles per charge. I have learnt the hard way, unfortunately. I thought it'd be smart to go and have dinner down in Brighton, some 100 miles away, get a quick charge down there and then come home. Unfortunately, when I got to the quick charger, it was out of order and there wasn't another to be seen for a good 20 miles. With zero range, that wasn't possible, so it was 6 hours of sitting in a train station car park to get the charge back into the car. I won't be going that far again. Another one I get asked about quite a bit are the mirrors. What are they like to live with day to day? And to be honest, once you're in the car and you're in your cockpit, it's all in your field of view. You barely need to take your eyes off the road, a glance down to the side, and you've checked your mirrors. They work very, very well. That's probably why you're seeing more and more cars now coming out with this sort of mirror. One of the features that I am keen on in the car is the regenerative braking. As you're on those sorts of dual carriageway journeys or in and out of a slightly higher speed, above 30, 40 mile an hour, you can use the regen braking on the paddles of the steering wheel here, just to add a little bit more assist, a bit of braking, coming up to a roundabout or a turning as such, without having to use the normal brake pedal. For driver aid, it's a lovely feeling just to be able to brake yourself through the motor that's in the car, effectively getting back to what we're feeling like engine braking again. It just gives that little bit of a feel that you've got a bit more control over the car than just two pedals and on and off, effectively. So after our drive, we can establish it's not the fastest car, but it's certainly not the slowest car. With a 0 to 60 of 8 seconds, it's pretty nippy. For those little nipping out of roundabouts or junctions, it makes this car quite agile around town. So another nice feature that Honda have put onto the car is the amount of steering angle that we've got on the front axle. So it allows us to do quick U-turns in really tight spaces, and you'll notice this when we're driving around town or car parks, you're just able to spin out of a spot and away you go again. With being who we are, we're looking at making upgrades on the car. Not necessarily looking at power, but perhaps handling and other characteristics that we can improve upon. We make our own brake lines in-house, so it's a natural step for us to look into is to see, can we make a brake line kit for this car? Another area that we looked at improving was the suspension. So working with the likes of IBAC, as we previously did on the FK2 model, bringing out our own line of springs on that one, we worked with them getting the initial measurements and data from the car to then bring out the kit of lowered springs. IBAC Germany actually beat us to this one. We didn't get our own exclusivity on it, but as you can agree, the car sits much better now with a 20mm drop. It keeps a lot of the characteristics as how the car handled initially, same sort of spring rate. So the car feels very compliant. It feels very low. You can feel that centre of gravity quite low as you're in the driving seat there. So as an improvement over the E, it's taken out a bit of that sort of wallow in the suspension and given it more of a solid, bit more of a performance-based platform. So when it comes to the wheels, we had an option from factory to go for the 16 or 17-inch wheel. So with efficiency in mind, we've opted for the 16s. That's a 16x6 front and a 16x7 rear. Honda have also altered the offset from front to rear with a 5mm difference. Obviously makes it quite difficult when we're looking to spec a set of wheels, if you wanted to put a larger wheel on, or even just to incorporate the same tyre, but alter the offset to give it that little bit more of an aggressive look. It makes it very difficult because we can't put that standard width wheel front and rear and still keep the look of the car. In our next video, we're going to be fitting IBAC spacers of various different sizes to see if we can change the overall appearance and look of the car. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out.